How it started was, to put it very briefly, I did something called Classical Uproar the year before, and the principal photographer there, Paul Dixon, got hold of me, and I became friends with him. He says, "Hey, Side, Gary Newman's wants to do this thing with an orchestra." And I was like, "Oh, really?" Because I still kept keeping the metal and keeping the classical sound. No, you are not going to be like two magnets like repelling each other.
You can't stop it.
No, you can't stop it. So, and he said, "Look, I said, "Oh, really? Okay, great."
Did you have any reservations about it then?
Well, no, I didn't even think about it, because a lot of artists at the moment are wanting to do stuff with orchestra. So I was just like, another artist. Although I loved Gary Newman, and
It's worst jobs you could have.
Yeah, but I didn't, but then Paul said, "Hey, Si, do you want? I've got his agent's email. Do you want it?" So I was like, "Okay." So I said, "Hi, I'm Simon. I've got a new orchestra. I've been a fan of yours since '79. Can you put us in touch?" And I sent it off. Week later, "Hi, Simon. This is Gary. Thanks for your..." I was like, "Oh, shit." So that's kind of like how that happened. And then he was like, "Look, I don't know anything about orchestras. I don't know how they work, whatever." So I was like, "Okay, right. What we'll do is we'll put together a demo for you." And so me and my co-writer Simon did. I can't say who he works for, but both of us did a demo for him, an intro track, and.
So did you picked one of his tracks from his album?
Which was Ghost Nation, which was the first one.
Right. Okay.
First on the album, and so we did that. Sent it to him. He loved it, and then he said, "Right, okay, put it together." So I basically became an accountant for 3 weeks and just learned, I had to go through all the musicians' union agreements and all that stuff. It was
minefield.
Paper, stacks of paper.
Oh God!
Anyway.
Did you get some help with that, or did you just do it all on your own?
No, I did it all on my own. Well, I had my business partner as well to tell me. Who's an accountant? Well, it's basically an accountant. So he was, but he didn't understand how the agreements work. So it was just, it's really, it's
absolute minefield.
Because normally there's other people doing this in an office. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, so he then, so he, it came close to $250,000. Yeah, for a week.
What it was going to cost?
A week tour.
Yeah. It was going to cost you?
No, it was going to cost Gary.
Right.
$250,000 because you've got, it was based on a full symphony orchestra and choir, and so him, it was a bit like Frank Zappa with the London Symphony Orchestra, because he was like, "How much? God damn you!"
It's like, we'll just have the cellos if that's all right.
We'll have a triangle. We'll have a triangle.
We'll have you with your stick. We'll have a triangle.
Yeah, man. So,
so did they revise it?
So no, he sort of went, "Oh God, no!" And he was just like, "What is that?" And he's almost had a heart attack. And I was like, "Look, well, that's how much it costs." Because the thing is, you got to remember, like, hotels, per diems.
How many people is that?
Well, it was going to be 55 altogether. So, but the hotels, travel. You got to pay them, and he wanted live DVD, live album. That's so you're talking MU packed agreements, so that you're talking like
But so he'd have to as well, like that $250 was just for your fee. Then he'd also have to pay for the DVD and all the extras.
That was including. So it's called,
you weren't taking care of the cameras and that, way, the DVD.
No. That was Paul Green who.
So
was
that was the entire expenses for the whole thing, everything included.
Well, that was everything. It included everything. In my fee, their fee, the orchestra fee, everything. So he was just like, no, you, and he said, "Look, this is great. If it doesn't, but that's got to be cut by half. If we can't do it, thanks. But we tried, sort of thing." And I was like, "You know what? I'll make it work for £1."
I suppose because you knew you want that kind of job on your profile, don't you?
It wasn't that.
That's got to be long term. Having a good resume of people that you've worked with and think like can help you, can't it? Even if you didn't make so much money.
Oh yeah. I mean, touring with Gary Newman in the UK, Royal Albert Hall, packed house, Bridgewater, live DVD, live album.
That's priceless.
Yeah, of course. But
so what did you do then?
So what I did, I went back to being an accountant for 3 weeks. And oh God, no! And like myself,
I'm an accountant. I must be able to make this work.
with one of those things.
I'll just take a note off here.
cut some corners here.
cut some corners, like by half. But the thing was, then I realised I was gonna. What do I get rid of? You know, in the auction, what do you get rid of? So I got
What
rid of.
goes first?
I got rid of the brass. Got rid of the woodwind.
Right.
I got rid of some of the strings. Got rid of some of the choir.
I suppose, yeah, when you get down to it, you're putting music to his songs. Maybe you wouldn't need everything.
Well, this is what I had to think of. But the thing was, I thought, okay, quiet, emotional content. Yeah, that's really important. That's really important.
Yeah.
But I thought, multi-percussion, because that's got the multi-dimensionality to it. I had a fantastic, I've got a fantastic multi-percussionist called Jan Bradley. He's just unbelievable. Anyway, so that's kind of, and I went back and I said, well, here's what we got. And he said, okay, that needs to be cut by another 25%. Whoa, dude! And but I managed to make it work. And
Wow. Well done.
but it was, but the thing was that it was really touch and go, because things like, you know, when we were on tour, like the coach wasn't big enough for the orchestra, so we had to get another coach. It was just
Extra
like,
expenses that you hadn't accounted for.
oh, totally, man, totally. So it was just like, you know, extra. I mean, it was so funny because like the orchestra, by the end, were like drinking on stage. It was so funny. They're like, sorry, can we have a few beers on stage? I was like, what? Well, do you want a spliff now? Or like, do you want me to like get you a few lines? I mean, like, what? What's the deal, man? But the thing was, I know what I was like when I was like a player. I was an animal. So I was just like, hey, man, as long as you don't, mess things up, I don't care. Just play right. Play safe. Like fly right and stay safe. So no, it was cool. But I mean, what the band were really worried about was that they thought we were going to be all old fuddy-duddies complaining. And just like, oh, this sucks. But we were the orchestra were more rock and roll than them, because for instance, after Birmingham, after the second show, Gary and the band had 2 tour buses, and basically the orchestra raided the tour bus, drank all their drink, took all their drugs, and then almost got arrested in town later on in a nightclub. So I was like, can you imagine that, like the papers next day, like
Orchestra
Newman tour goes tits up.
Orchestra arrested. Newman teetotal.
yeah. Still, Newman not happy.
So I probably, I think I left a lot of them at mum and dad's house when I moved out.
They're still there.
Have you got much merchandise with your faces on?
There's some. There was the beer. We're not allowed to say that old word anymore, are we?
Olympic.
We had
You're not allowed to say what?
We got a. Was it?
We got a cease and desist letter from the International Olympic Commission
Why would
for our song, "The Beer Olympics."
Oh no!
Yeah, but we had a T-shirt for that song that had our faces on, and we had a Hard Day's Pint one that had our faces on.
So this song's been erased from.
It's now called the Beer, and I'm going to get this slightly wrong, the Beer International Quad Yearly Non-Profit Sporting Event. Something along those lines.
I can just imagine that on a T-shirt.
And that's how it's actually listed on Spotify now as well.
So when did this song come out initially?
It was out on our Pot Sounds album, which was 2008. And then in 2012, we re-recorded it for our Hard Day's Pint album, which was a beer-themed, drinking-themed album.
Right.
But yeah, was it 2006 or 2005? The International Olympic Commission got in touch with it was a cease and desist.
16, you mean?
Letter.
Well, just because you're using the word Olympic.
Yeah, it's copyrighted.
Okay.
Trademarked and copyrighted.
Did not know that.
You can't go using it in a commercial capacity without their authorization, say so.
Yeah.
Because people like MasterCard and McDonald's pay so much for the privilege of having an association. Right. But it was good in a way, because we got a great amount of publicity out of it.
And there's more content.
Yeah, definitely. So it's now, say that again, it's called what?
You'll be able to find it on Spotify.
I found it here because I'm on your Wikipedia page.
Okay.
and there's a section
it's under
entitled,
controversies.
Olympic controversy.
Oh.
So yeah, the Beer International Non-Profit Non-Governmental Sporting Quad Yearly Event.
Yeah, that's its full title now. Legally, that's what we have to call it.
Does it tell a story about what happened on there?
The group were contacted by the International Olympic Committee in August 2016 over their 2008 song The Beer Olympics. The IOC claimed copyright over the word Olympics, stating that Hot Pots' use of the word was a breach of their copyright. To avoid further problems, the band subsequently retitled the song that.
I'm going to read that out again. That is brilliant.
It's catchy as well, isn't it? It's very catchy.
I mean, the only person who could possibly now sing the song with that many words in the lyrics is James Dean Bradfield from the Manic Street Preachers.
Oh, that's a good story. I like that.
Yeah, well, we got on 5 Live and Talk Sport, and when Matthew Wright was doing the right stuff, we were because we had a little bit in a national newspaper. He was commenting about it on telly. So, in theory, it was actually a really great thing for
Probably people supporting you though, were they?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Saying, who do you guys think they are? Let them do it. Let the lads
Yeah,
sing.
well, that's what you've got to do in the legal world, isn't it? If you don't defend something, then it sets precedent and all boring legal stuff.
But I like that story. That's good. Are you going to copyright anything else? Sing anything else copyrighted for some publicity?
No,
We've done a couple of songs about well-established retail chains, but they've actually gone down quite well with said retail chains.
Yeah,
right.
Bargain Booze. We've spoken to the marketing people at Bargain Booze for a couple of times, and they love it. In fact, they had an end of year event. It was about Octoberish last year, and we recorded a couple of songs specifically for them for Play Out.
All right.
Their company big team get together, so that, they don't mind.
Did
They don't
Poundland
mind.
like?
Poundland have not sued us over our song "I'm Going to Poundland," so you can't argue with that.
So did you think about that when you were writing it then and putting it out? Or?
Just think what's funny, don't you?
Yeah.
IKEA haven't been in touch,
No.
so that's all right so far.
That's a point, yeah.
I mean, I don't know what we'd call it if we had to change IKEA or IKEA.
IKEA, Swedish furniture.
Swedish flat pack.
Yeah.
Swedish furniture flat pack nightmares.
Yeah, if we could get I was going to say fingered by IKEA, but I don't. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll retract that particular statement.
Anything
You've got Audacity, be able to edit that
yeah.
out.
Anytime you use a word like that, you'll have to think of an alternative just in case. It's a really long-winded alternative that's still funny.
A bit like they do with naughty words in network television broadcaster films.
Oh, Lucy Meacott liked.
She did.
her
She
song
did
as
actually.
well.
Yes, when they celebrated, was it 30 years that she'd been on Granada Reports? They played a little bit of our Lucy Meacott song at the start of that particular feature.
Did they ask permission for that?
Yeah,
They did,
They
actually,
were very
that's
good.
good.
Yeah,
There's
And
been a lot-
of course we said yes.
There's been a lot of people not playing stuff without permission recently. Like a couple of years ago, there was the Virgin Trains advert. They used some was it Carniflex?
Carnifex.
Carnifex. They
Yeah.
used one of their songs.
And there's like a
Didn't
lot of
ask 'em.
stuff with like the American politics, like politicians playing
Oh,
bands. It's like, was it Foo Fighters or something like that? Or-
one of them was, but the other one was "We're Not Going to Take It." Twisted Sister.
yeah,
Dee Snider didn't ask them.
Mm.
yeah.
So that's the other end of the scale, isn't it? They
Yeah.
use your stuff without permission. It's like, well, hold on.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to use any of our music in adverts and pay us lots of PRS, then I'm more than willing for that to happen.
I can see someone like, I don't know, Greg's, someone like that.
That'd be a
Some of
good-
your music would
That'd be
work
good.
with
yeah,
that.
Yeah. Most people aren't so forward-thinking, though.
You need to write a song about vegan sausage rolls. That's where the money's at these
Yeah.
days.
Well, we
We
kind of touched on it with Hardcore Quorn.
Yeah, hardcore pornography on the Criminal Record album,
Yeah.
2010.
You're just an encyclopedia of your own material, aren't you?
It's all. I'm getting a moment of clarity. It's all coming back to me now. It's all coming back.